Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am RV Piper. Guys, markets are opening a little bit in the red. NASDAQ about flat this morning. We are getting some pullback on Trump's newest tariff threat. That is China. We're going to talk about that. Shaking off that Mexico and Canadian tariff yesterday. Now we got a new round of some tariffs going on, and that is going to be what's causing the markets to have a little bit of pullback this morning. You can see here on the daily, still sitting green on the crypto bubbles all around me, but looking at the hourly, we do have some red coming in. We're going to check out some levels of support that you need to be keeping an eye on and find out exactly what happened overnight with Bitcoin, some levels that we hit, guys. Looking at the chart here, you can see we are getting a little pullback right now from Mother's Milk. We're trying to hold it as support, but right now we're getting a rejection off the top of that. We're going to be watching these levels, looking at that, looking at the tariffs, JOLTS job reports, and let's talk about is Trump winning right now? All that and a lot more today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's go ahead and get a little drop-down screen here so you guys can keep an eye on that chart right there, right? But, well, shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. I see the OC guy in here because he's next to me on the stage right now. We got the little fish in here. Crypto trades all set. Robert Mulligan, Alexandra G, the mod queen in the house. We got all set. Trade Intuition, T.I. Joe, BC Port Corp. A lot of members from our team here. Love to see it. What else do we got going on? Little Wick, 2 dubs in the house. We got 2 dubs in the house. Wick Wi-Fi 89 in here. Average Crypto Joe, Crypto Coin Mindset. If you guys don't follow his show, go check out Keith over there in Crypto Coin Mindset. Great data that he puts out. Good alpha, the good type. And username, of course. Guys, I got to ask a question. We're going to go ahead and do this. Let me actually set up a poll. I want to set up a poll real fast because actually, if anybody out there that has access right now could go in and put a poll on this chat, I want to know, like in categories, 0 to 25,000, 25,000 to 50,000, 50,000 to 75,000, $100,000 or more, right? How much your medical cost would have been in the past year without insurance. Like if you were just writing a check to the hospital, how much would your medical have been for the past 12 months? And I would just like to know that category. If somebody can do that, let me know. If you can't, then, you know, hey, it happens. It's all good. It's all good. We'll just do it with the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat. But I gotta talk about this World Health Organization payout that we've been, because I did some crazy math, and it's stupid. It's stupid how much that went out there and what we don't get in the U.S. for that money. Plus, we got some other data about some fraudulent money spending going on by the U.S. government. Go figure. Shocking. It's my shock face. But a new thumbnail right there. OC, let's go ahead and bring you up here, man. How are you doing today, bro? Ah, dang it. I didn't catch you eating breakfast. Oh, well. Oh, well.
I know it was intentional. It was too many coincidences. I knew it. No, but I do have a couple of things here for you guys, especially if you guys are on the US. Here in Mexico, you need, I mean, for every business, including medical, you need to have your prices up in front. So when you're walking into anything, you know how much it costs you anything, right? And if there's some services that they're not on display, you can come in here and then ask for it, and they should be giving you a straightforward answer. By the way, running at Sunday, Sunday 4 a.m. into emergency, no ambulance included. That would be just for a basic checkout, maybe a blood test and MRI. It would be costing me $2,500. So no ambulance included. So also depending on what part of Mexico you are, could be going between 2,500 to 3,500. So that is around
much cheaper though. Much cheaper there in Mexico than it is in the U.S. for sure. Much cheaper. So I live in El Paso here on the border of Mexico and Texas and New Mexico. It's like a tri-border area. Anyway, a lot of the people here go across the border into Juarez for their dental prescriptions and medicals. So it's much cheaper down there. So, but yeah, we got a lot of our teammates that can log in with the Google Piper Academy account. So that we got it. BC Port Corp is on it. We'll have that up here in a bit. We're going to talk about that stuff here in a while. I just want to see what, I don't think people realize how much money was being thrown out there by the U.S. government and what that money could have actually gone towards, for the American people. Just saying. Let's go and get yourself a grill in Mexico. Are we making ribs on that grill, crypto trade? I know what type of grill you're talking about. I'm just playing, man. Let's go talk about this market this morning because OC, we had tariffs yesterday. Let's recap. We had tariffs. They were supposed to start today for Mexico and Canada. Did not happen. We had some intervention from the Mexican president and Justin Trudeau, the guy who supposedly is in charge of Canada. And they came forward and said they're going to make some changes. Now, the original reason for tariffs from Trump was because he has said since day one how much fentanyl and how much of the, how much have you spent on medical care without insurance? So 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100 to 100K. Perfect. Thank you, BC Port Corp. You're the man. Guys, go ahead and fill that out. Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and do this here. There we go. But yeah, so that was he said from the beginning that there was a lot of fentanyl, a lot of border crossing. As a matter of fact, I even seen recently on a video on TikTok where the guy was talking about there were more people crossing the border from Canada than from Mexico at this point. Like it was pretty high up. So that was really the underlying reason, I believe, that Trump did those tariffs. It wasn't so much about tariffs. It was about leverage, right? And we've said that from the get-go here. Which job pays for our health insurance, but we don't use it much. Thankful, something I wish I could dump money into Bitcoin instead of. I agree, Wick's wife, fine, 89. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. So username, it's just healthcare. This is just like going to the doctor, not dentist. So, of course, if you want to throw dental in there, why not? I think you'll be shocked when you find out what you could have gotten for that. Let's go jump into the and let's check that stuff out, OC, because we got a lot of news to get into today. And then I want to break down the Trump win that is going on right now with those tariffs. So let's go jump into news and we'll be right back with you. Guys, don't forget to fill out the poll. All right. Looking at the news, guys, right now. Here we go. Let me extend that over. There we go. And look at this total market cap right now. The crypto market cap is currently sitting at $3.28 trillion right now. It is undervalued still by 3.99%, meaning that it's under its median moving average there for fair value, okay? Looking at the total market cap of Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is currently in a risk band of 59.2 and is currently at a price of around, I believe it's like 100,400 right now. Let's go and check out the dominance. Guys, dominance yesterday without stable coins. Hit 64.3%. Currently with stables, it's at 60% on Bitcoin dominance. And then let's go check out that fear and greed, see how that's looking. Fear and greed right now is sitting at 72. We're in greed right now on the fear and greed index. We'll come back to you, X. We're going to come back to X. I want to talk about where the price is right now. We are starting to get a turnaround on the hourly. Looks like the S&P is opening to the upside over here on CNBC to my right. Here in the war room, looking at Bitcoin right now at $100,241, up 4.9% on the daily. Ethereum up 9.1%. XRP up 15.4%. Moving up one more spot and taking out Tether for that number 3 position there. Solana up 9.9%. BNB is up 3.1%. Big movers. Let's see here. Cardano up 11.2%, back to 77 cents. That's a great recovery there. SWI up 20%. Chainlink up 11.3%. Tron not performing well in that top 10. Avalanche moving down a spot as SWI moves up 2 positions. It's up 8.7%. Stellar Lumens 9%, 9.1 now. HBAR, guys, up 15.4%, moving up 2 spots to number 15. And then lastly here, rounding out the top 20 for big move, it's going to be Shiba Inu. It's going to be Hyperliquid, and it's going to be Litecoin, guys. We just talked about this. Litecoin back in the top 20 right now, up 10%, $104.88. We talked about this yesterday in our VIP members course, that I think this would be a good, well, if you're doing it by family, you can do your whole family, because when I break out this number, you're going to be floored. Like if you have a family of 4, your allocation of what you would have off of this money would be substantial. So you can do individual, or you can do an average, whatever you want to do, username. Yeah, so we talked about Litecoin yesterday, that this is going to be something to keep an eye on, especially with that Litecoin ETF, if it gets approved, which I do think it is happening. It will happen, I believe, with the regulation that's going on in the SEC leadership, plus some changes that just came out on how the SEC can actually do things. So they got the hands tied a little bit right now with this new SEC leadership. Let's go and refresh this, taking a look at the current market open. Yeah, Dow Jones down about 0.14%. NASDAQ and the S&P both kind of flat. NASDAQ's up about 0.4%, but the S&P up 0.107%. The Russell 2K down, and the VIX is down. So let's take a look at the bonds today. 10-year yield getting a little move up at 4.561%. Look at gold, guys. $2,868.20, up about 0.4%. Silver's at 32.77. Copper and platinum both up also. Palladium down about 2.16% after its big run up. And that is, let's look at the exchange. Euro to USD is green. USD to Japanese yen is green. The British pound versus USD is down. Australian dollar versus USD is down. And US dollar versus Canada is down. So it looks like the dollar is winning in Australia, US, Japan, the euro. Euro and the Canadian dollar doing pretty strong against the dollar right now. We have JOLTS job openings coming in today, guys. It's going to be at 8 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. on the East Coast, which is going to be in about 17 minutes. We're going to come back and take a look at this. Right now, it's at 8.098 million. Right now, the consensus is 8 million. Forecast is 7.8 million. So somewhere a little bit below this. And if this comes in strong, then we should see the markets rally. If this comes in weak, then we could see the markets pull back even more today. Keep that in mind. We also have factory orders coming in, expected to be down quite a bit more, slowing down in the factory. That means manufacturers slow down, which is an economic pillar of weakness, right? 90K Bitcoin risk correction. Actually, let's go to X marks the spot. I want to kick it over here. Let's bring OC up here. And then let's stretch this over. There we go. OC, can you change your camera, sir? You and your camera. Taking a look here, I want to go over everything that's on X marks the spot today, guys, as we talk about this before we talk about that article, because yesterday, you guys know the Mexico tariffs. Mexico president agrees to send 10,000 troops to our southern border to stop the flow of drugs and people. Everyone who criticized Trump's tariffs looks really dumb right now. So it's Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, the president of the great nation of Mexico. Shout out to OC. We had a good conversation with President Trump with great respect for our relationship and sovereignty. We reached a series of agreements. Mexico will immediately reinforce the northern border with 10,000 members of the National Guard to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, particularly fentanyl. So there's the first thing that happened yesterday. And then not long after, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that following a call today with U.S. President, tomorrow's proposed 25% tariff delayed for 30 days. And in exchange, Canada will implement, and let me make sure I can get this open here. There we go. Canada will implement $1.3 billion for the border plan, which includes advanced helicopters and enhanced coordination with American partners and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 personnel will be deployed to the U.S.-Canadian border to assist with this. Plans. Additionally, the Prime Minister will appoint a fentanyl czar. So we now have 20,000 troops not paid for by the U.S. dollar protecting our north and south border from illegal crossings and of fentanyl. So there's what happened yesterday with those two. And then, of course, not to be outdone, you guys know about the arms shipments to Ukraine, all these billions of dollars, right? Well, that was paused. They hit the brakes over there on the government side here and said we're gonna stop sending stuff over there to Ukraine. What did the Ukraine reply back with? Ukraine and the U.S. are in talks to supply the United States with critical rare earths as payment for the billions in aid sent to Ukraine. So now we're getting resources, ground resources, things like, I don't know, EVs, copper, precious earth elements, right? Lithium, all that good stuff, cobalt. So there's that one. And then Panama comes back in. You guys know the Panama Canal, the American Canal, as Trump called it. Jose Raul Molino has announced that following his meeting yesterday with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Panama has decided not to renew its 2017 memo with China regarding their Belt and Road Initiative. And so when this expires in 2027, 2028, it looks like the United States is getting this. So Gulf of America, Panama, U.S. Canal. It's all happening, guys. It's all happening. I'm sorry, OC. We're closing in on you, bro. And then everything fell apart this morning with this. Breaking: China has opened antitrust investigations into NVIDIA and Google just hours after imposing a 10 to 15% tariff on some U.S. imports per the Times. Financial Times. China is reportedly looking for new trade war leverage against Trump. So they're trying to play the Trump game. And I guess we're going to find out exactly who is the better of the more powerful art of the deal maker here between Trump and President Xi Jinping. But yeah, China now doing that. And we did see a little bit of market shakeout this morning. Nothing big, just a little flat. It was a little flat. It still is. We're going to take a look at those in a second. Did you guys know about this? Ending U.S. taxpayer funding of transgender comic books in Peru, DEI in Serbia, and transgender operas. This was money that was going out. And funny enough, Ilhan Omar, the Democrat from Minnesota, said, "This is what the beginning of a dictatorship looks like." And evidently, if you decide to not spend $1.5 million to advance diversity and inclusion in Serbia's workplace and business communities, or spend $70,000 for production of a DEI musical in Ireland, or spend $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, or $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. If you don't do those things, if you're not okay with that taxpayer dollars there being spent on these things in other nations, then evidently that makes you a dictator. So that's from Ilhan Omar there. Yeah, matter of fact, here's the video. Check this out. Let's watch this. Let's move this back here.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government.
Yeah, so there's even the press release about it. I'm going to talk about this chart in a minute. It's about that 0.3, that 38.2% fib. But here's what I was talking about with the Litecoin ETF, guys. Update: the SEC must now obtain top-level approval from commissioners before launching any investigations. The change follows a leadership transition at the SEC, with Mark Uyeda appointed as the acting chair. No more regulation by enforcement. So they now can't just go, "I'm going to do this." They have to get approval from top levels. What is that top level? Not exactly clear, but this is a big change for the SEC and how they do business. And I think that was all I had in here, except for that chart, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Let's jump back over to DuoCam. I want to talk about this real fast, OC, because I want to look at the poll. What's the poll saying? 85% have said 0 to 25,000. 10% have said 25,000 to 50,000. 50,000 to 100,000, 5%. Nobody has said 100,000 or more. Do you know how much money we cut off from the World Health Organization here in the United States, OC?
Oh,
that was going out annually.
I don't quite remember the actual number, but I do remember that you guys cut it a lot, like a what, like 10%, 20% or something like that. And also, you're pulling out of the World Association of Health or something like that.
World Health Organization. Yes. So United
Yep.
States was given the WHO, the WHO, the World Health Organization, estimated in total $500 million a year.
Woof-woof.
How many?
Man.
How many? How many U.S. citizens are there? How many people live in America?
I have no idea.
340-ish million. Okay, well under 500 million. And that was the annual that was going out from the federal government to the World Health Organization for the rest of the world's medical, right? Guys, they could have allocated a $1 million cap in free medical care for every single United States citizen every year and still spent less than what they were giving the World Health Organization. I want you guys to think about that. That is what they are cutting out of our cost here in the United States. You could all, each one of you, you get $1 million, you get $1 million, you get $1 million. Every single person in the United States could have had $1 million in health care paid for by the federal government every freaking year. I'm just going to put that out there, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so shout out to them tightening down and getting rid of this stupid money that they were just throwing out there, wasting. And and these are the same people, by the way, that wanted to hire 88,000 more IRS agents to make sure that they didn't miss any money slipping through the cracks on the tax side. No shit, really? I know why you wanted to do that, because you had more money to throw at stupid projects all over the world and forget about the people that paid for it here in America. Good riddance to all of you. Let's go talk about Bitcoin, OC. I'm off my soapbox now. I'm off my soapbox. So yeah, okay, yeah. You're right. It is not million. It's 100,000. So yeah, that's what it is. We could have done that 100,000 per, I believe is what it is. But still, that's why I did it up to 100,000. So let's go talk about Bitcoin, OC. You pull up your chart and we'll come back and talk about these levels that we need to watch. Let's go over to you and check out what you got on your chart, bro.
Absolutely. So yesterday we were talking about this downranging motion here. We have a sweep of the lows, basically just covering the entry area. That, by the way, I missed, so I'm not letting that go. And then just it's not about the breakout; it's about the retest. And something very interesting that, oh man, crypto trades. My bad. Sorry. Crypto trades. By the way, shout out to crypto trades in the chat. He let me know. You know what, OC? I don't even know if we're gonna get all the way down here, because look at the momentum that we carry, right? We have two big body candles here going through, right? And then going to hit the dynamic reactor. Of course, we're gonna have a pullback here, but I'm not that sure that it's gonna be somewhere around 96, might be higher. So what we did is just take these two end of those weeks into another trend line, and look at that, almost perfectly we are bouncing off it. So there's one more thing that we need to be aware of. First, we are building up a little bit of a goose head right here. The goose head is not on the proper area, right? I want the goose head to be up above on this area, or at least to be above the zero line. It is right in the middle of the zero line, which means we cannot trust its movement to be trustworthy, right? So basically, we could be having this thing like that, all right? So as long as we don't lose this trend line here, I think we could be trading it on the lower time frame, like the 15 minutes or something, because we already have a higher low, right? And are we technically making a higher high? Yes, we are, because we're breaking this high and we're breaking this high. As long, again, as we retrace within this trend line, I think we have a chance to start taking these previous highs. Let's visit just the bearish scenario for a second, because that is imminent and we cannot be blind to it, right? We are making, right, after this breakout, we are making a lower high right here, right? So yes, we have the breakout of the main trend line, but what's going to happen, we could be looking at something like that trickles down on its way to the right, right? So at this point, we need to be very, very careful and start looking for breakouts above the dynamic reactor. If we miss the breakout of the dynamic reactor like we did in here, most likely we're gonna keep going downwards here, and then we're gonna be entering on our next entering zone once again between. And let me get you the main areas here. 1 second. 96 500 and 94 200. So be aware of those levels like immediately at this point. And other than that, stay on the markets, because I think it's gonna be a fun week.
Yeah, absolutely. Correction. I wanted to clarify something. I forgot to add in the UN money. It was the UN money, the NATO money, the foreign aid money. There was a bunch of other stuff, but when it all broke down, that's why we did 100,000 on here. It was $100,000 per person, not a million. Correction on that. 100,000 per person with everything that we have cut in foreign aid that could have been used in the United States for medical health care. Yes, you are correct, David. I've missed some other data there in that report. But I want to jump over and let's talk about Bitcoin right now and these levels that we're watching, because we did get a rejection back at a key level that's pretty important to keep an eye on. Let me pull this up here. There we go. Spot on. All right, let's go down and look at this chart and let's jump over to my screen and let's talk about this. All right, so what happened here, guys? See, what had happened was, as we say in the military, that's the beginning of every bad story. We did get a bounce here on the point of control. We were coming down it. Now we're getting this rejection here in our main median margin zones of the pivots, guys. This is your entry levels for a lot of things, but I want to show you if we bring this down, and we bring it from the high here down to the low, we just got our rejection here right above the golden pocket. If I turn off the pivot, you guys can see golden pocket. We got above that, tried to hold the dynamic reactor, pulled back under, and right now we are fighting with the quantum reactor. So that pullback right there on the quantum reactor, if we lose this, guys, how low could we be looking at going? Well, we can do that by pulling over here, and we're just going to throw another fib on so you guys can see what this level would look like, because as of right now, we have come down to test the platinum pocket perfectly here from this low to this high. If we get up here, and we've tried to hold the 382, got rejection. I do think that we will ultimately head up to the 236 at 104, but right now the retracement threat with the China tariffs could be back down to the golden pocket. That would put us around $95,000. A return back to the platinum pocket would be $91,000 to $93,000, okay? Some stuff that I'm seeing on the daily chart, or the 12-hour chart, I should say, is this. We're not seeing a whole lot of bullishness here on the multi-time frame screener right now at all. The 1 hour, the 15-minute, the 5-minute all shows a little bit of weakness, but we are starting to come up on the histogram, giving us a little strength there. Money flow starting to come up. We are getting a very short candle here, though. What I would like to see on this 12-hour is this Heikin-Ashi RSI prime candle to come a little bit higher right now, instead of getting this rounding motion. You see when these candles start to get short, that's typically when we get these turnarounds lining up right there with the perfect. So keep an eye on that. Rejection right now on the lower trade band of predictive ranges also. But shout out to Titan of Crypto, because he was talking about this chart here. Let me just go ahead and open this up. There we go. He looks at these retracements on the high time frame. These are monthly candles that he's looking at here on the chart. And you guys can see that each time that we've come up and did a pullback, come up and do a pullback, come up, do a pullback, if we hold the 382, we continue to push higher. When we fail to do that, that has typically been the bear market start off, and that is the end of it. We just had another one here that was printed, and that one is coming in $80,572 right now. That is the level to watch, because that will be the next 38.2. And if we fail to hold that on the pullback, very likely could be a repeat of what we saw in 2021 and a repeat of what we saw in 2018, where the bear market starts off there. So 80,572, big level to watch for support. Lastly, I want to come over here back on the daily. I want to put this on the daily, and let's talk about where we pumped up to, because we did have a nice move to the upside on the tariff threat cool off there. But let's go over to Bitcoin dominance. Excuse me, CME gap. I should say there's a CME gap. We have a CME gap on the daily here that was right there. So this CME gap on the daily, this would be our candle close on Friday right here. And this was our open all the way down here. on Monday. So we've already pumped up and closed out that gap. So we closed another CME gap. Right now, we are pulling back down on the daily. So keep an eye out. That level again, 80,000, not line please, 80,572 level to watch there. Looking at the charts of when we have the Bitcoin up here with these, we do have a support level coming in on that support. Turn that on. There we go. We do have a support level coming in on a weekly pivot right now. That is coming in. The first one is at 96,000. The second one at 93,000. And then ultimately down here, the range that we originally talked about, guys, is going to be your dynamic reactor. It's going to be your support level 2 on the weekly pivots and your value area low. And that range is coming in at about $90,000. I think $90,000 is going to be a pretty key level to hold. $89,000 to $90,000 according to that 382 and everything I'm seeing on the charts. Now hoping for the upside. What do we think about the upside, guys? I would say that the upside move is going to be looking at the liquidation heat map on the 2 week. Right now, we are seeing our biggest heat zone coming in at about $107,000 Bitcoin. So there's your upside. There's your downside. 89 to 90,000 on the downside needs to hold. Upside target there based on liquidity heat map, looking at about $107,000. And that's what I got on Bitcoin. Yeah, that's it. That's what I got for news today and for your Bitcoin recap. OC, it's top of the hour. Let's go check out the economy and look at these JOLTS job reports because that should have just come in. And let's go take a look at that, and then we'll come back and look at altcoins. Let's go. Okay, hey, look. This is not it's not horrible. It's not horrible. Let's put that out. Let's go to impact. I thought this was going to come in low, but I thought it would come in, much lower. Could come in much lower. I mean, they revised our previous amount of JOLT job openings to 8.15. So that is a revision down. We were expected to be 8 million, 7.8, came in at 7.6. So it's not too far beneath what was already cooked in. I got breaking news kicking over here right now on CNBC talking about it. But the number of job openings fell by 556,000 from a month earlier to 7.6 million, missing the market consensus of 8 million. The number of job openings decreased in professional and business services, healthcare and social assistance, finance and insurance. Job openings increased in arts, entertainment, and recreation. So that is what we have for the JOLTS job openings today. Factory orders came in lower than what was expected. So a lot of these came in lower than expected, but not too freaking far below it. So let's go see how the markets are reacting to this. Let's put this on the 1 hour. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a pullback on Bitcoin. Looks like the Dixie is pulling back also. How is the 10-year bond looking right now? Let's go to the 10-year bond. Yeah, 10-year bond getting a little bit of a pump up there, 4.549 off of this. And the stock market getting a, well, it looks a little flat. OC, what are you seeing on the altcoins? Let's jump over to your chart. Looks like on this economic data, a little bit of a scare because we came in below these numbers, but nothing that was so far below them that it was throwing off the metrics of what was already baked in. What do you got, bro?
So on the icon side, sorry, I see basically the same thing that I see across the board. Still a higher high here after the big drop back down here. How great that we see that this little range being taken over. We're seeing that try to break above the zero line on the 30 minutes around that time frame. But I see overall this same V-shaped recovery. That speaks very well about the market. Something that we need to also be careful about it is that we could be making that lower high just like we did on Bitcoin. At this point, I would say that we're creating a little bit of a symmetrical triangle up here or a bull flag in here, bullish pennant. And we should be very, very careful on what might be happening because at this point, look at the 30 minutes. We're having some divergences here. This is Link, which has been playing out very nicely. But if we go to Ethereum, we see almost exactly the same pattern, right? Let me just clear this out because it's too much of a spaghetti here. And let's just bring up something like, for example, liquidity zones. On my liquidity zones, we can see that we are between the rock and a hard place in here. It's just banging over this area. So we also can see that bearish divergence and that very weird though goose head playing out right there at the middle of the scene. So I would say that we need to start looking at couple of investments and reinvestment areas. All right. So what I would say it is, all right, what would be the worst case scenario? All right, maybe going back here, first entry or first half of an entry, right? And maybe then we can start looking at it here, maybe another half of an entry, and then maybe allocate 2 entries per trade, right? As we might be going lower for a little bit of a week like this. I don't think that this is going to be repeating anytime soon, but I also believe that we could be visiting lower areas in here before starting to make a range. Remember, if we go to the 4 hours or like the 2 hours, I think the 2 hours will represent this much better. Wyckoff pattern work, Wyckoff distribution. There's a little range in here. V-shaped recovery, high, not higher in the previous range. This is giving us 70% chances of ranging. And usually we have this little fake out within a higher high in here before retracing to where? Not all the way down here, but at where most of the candles were. So something like that, right? So basically making this the higher, not higher than this area right here, and then giving us an opportunity somewhere around that area. So look at that. So if we start turning on our order blocks, we'll see that most of the people are expecting a Wyckoff pattern here, and they are preparing for allocating back when the fake out happens in here for a retracement right down here on the loud order block, right? Also remember, order blocks are magnetic, especially when they are very, very bullish and they act as a support. Very quick, if you allow me to, I'm gonna go to the
Go for it.
Bitcoin chart, and I want to thank you, and I'm gonna show you how would that pattern would look like, right? I want you guys to be completely prepared here. This is on the 4 hour, and it's just gonna take me a little minute, but bear with me, guys. I believe that this is gonna be worth it across the board. So there we go. I think this would be, and this is a class I gave a couple of days ago. So let me just remove everything that I got here. Look at how is it playing out, right? Coming back down, having a range in here, V-shaped recovery, and then as we have the very first retracement in here, this is kind of looks like a top, right? And when it starts retracing with a big body candle, boom, fake out, right? And then we go visit those lows. So be prepared for something like this because the order blocks are pushing it into that pattern, especially on Ethereum and Link. So once again, be careful on the market and prepare for that structure to play it out. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's take a quick look here at what I'm seeing on Ondo, guys. Ondo's looking a little bit stronger than Bitcoin right now. Not going to lie. Let's throw on the fibs here on the 12-hour, and I just want to show you guys, we pretty much came down almost wicking perfectly on the 786 Platinum Pocket. That's from this low to this high here. No, that is a wick there. It is on the Platinum Pocket perfectly. It hit it there, getting a little bounce up. We have now retaken the 50% fib, guys. And when you come up and you retake the fib and you get a retest, that is a very bullish thing to see. Let's go ahead and stretch that out so you can see we had a perfect retest candle close, and now we are bouncing up. What do I think that we could go off of this? Well, I'm watching. Let me turn off the fibs here. Hide the fibs. Hide the fibs. There we go. What I'm watching here is because we did get also a pump up here above the lower golden band. We are running into a little bit of resistance here on the 12-hour. That's going to be your quantum reactor and your delta median. You can see this has been a resistance and support area here historically. So if we are able to get above that, I do think that we're easily heading up here for at least a liquidity grab above this zone and above this this upper golden band of the predictive ranges, which is coming in at about $1.72.4 right now. But if we get here and we reject on this quantum reactor here, guys, and on that delta median, the blue 50% median of the predictive ranges, we could be heading back down for a retest here to hold on that lower golden band. Looking at the oscillators, though, histogram is pushing up. Signal line's about to flip into the upside. Also on the 12-hour, we do have money flow coming in. We've got a transition ribbon. Looks like volume starting to increase. And the hike in Nashi RSI Prime heat candle candles looking pretty good on its growth levels there, guys. Also, like I showed you on Bitcoin, where a lot of this stuff was still low on the lower time frames for the multi-screener, we're starting to see green popping off in the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and some of the 1 hour. So I want to see this multi-time frame prophecy, that's your pumped up indicator, and the quantum reactors and reversals start to at least get something green in here. But as of right now, it looks like Ondo looking much stronger than Bitcoin and holding its own ground right now. Because in comparison to Bitcoin, guys, just to give you that, you'll see here on the multi-time frame, our candle is not an increase high. It rejected right off of that 12-hour predictive range, and we've got a lot of red up here still. Not much green into 15 minutes. This is still in the gray, and we need to get this to look a lot more like Ondo does right now. That's for sure. Because Ondo looking strong. Let's kick it back over to you, OC. Let's see what you got, bro.
Absolutely. Take a look at Solana here. By the way, guys, if you want us to take a look at any asset, please let us know in the side chat, and we're going to be more than happy to go through it. So Solana here, going for a bull flagging here, a bullish flag or a bullish pennant. And I want to show you guys, not because we have a bullish pennant, it's going to be breaking to the upside. This is giving you a higher chance. Nonetheless, you also have the opposite chance, which is breaking down. And it seems like it did follow Bitcoin on the breakdown, right? So something interesting is that I was following on throughout this range for a long time, and we hit right into it, right? And of course, having the same pattern of Wyckoff accumulation here for maybe a spring and then a breakout to the upside, right? So areas to maybe start looking for, you have it right here, maybe at the breakout in here and of the retracement. If we hold this area, I think this is going to be a great area of entry, but we need to hold. All right, how would we be knowing that holds? When we start bouncing and we are above the zero line right here on your oscillator, right? And also we are flipping up, so FOR, flip off the ribbon. Another important thing it is, if that fails, which is not bouncing and then keep trickling down, where could we be expecting to enter? Based on this pattern, I would say right here where all of the wicks are gathering somewhere around that area, it's an interesting area to start looking for. Again, flip of the ribbon to enter somewhere around that. So let me just also push this thing down below. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a eye trading here. OM, it's another one that crypto trades helped me out analyzed yesterday. And I think went very fantastic. Yes. And look at that. I mean, we had this area right here. I was expected to enter right there as we were breaking out. What happened? It faked out and then we burst to the downside. Nonetheless, it ended up respecting my prediction to the upside. But look at that, man. Oh my God. That candle, that weekend candle, well, then if you were not prepared or looking at it, well, then it caught you by surprise. Then what happened right here, we were expecting, or we are expecting, a goose head. There we go. That goose head usually indicates that we're going to have maybe a higher high or a double top, and then we're going to be trickling down. But once again, look at that. We have 1, 2, 3 major candles after an absorption zone right here, which could be leading to what? Not retracing all the way down to the trend line. And this was the idea that CryptoTrace pitched to me, what I was making the analysis. He says, you know what? Look at your area of volume. There we go. And he was right there, right? This could be our next retracement. What we did, like we copied this area right here, and then we paste it over here, matching the last candle. And look at that. We have a possible perfect scenario for the next bullish pattern. Be careful, because as this is a possibility, also going to hit the trend line, it's a possibility. That's why we're trading, or we're trying to allocate half and half of a position, just in case it push back above, or we have a sweep of the lows right here to re-enter and average down our position somewhere around 548. That would be the average if we take both of them. All right. So I think OM, we've been following this one. I gave also this signal yesterday on the Discord. I'm also going to be looking for other altcoins to trade. I think this is going to be the week that we start reallocating positions. So guys, if you're not part of Discord, I invite you to check it out. I think it's filled with a lot of information, especially Piper and Piper's and crypto trades DCA strategy. I think that's amazing. And by the way, I think that thanks to that strategy, Piper nailed that dip. So, passing it over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm looking here right now on the Piper Sniper at Bitcoin. We are starting to get a little bit of a pullback on Bitcoin right now. I'm looking. This is a 4 hour, so I wanted to see what the Piper Sniper was showing us on the spotter because I got the 1 hour spotter down here, guys. And what this is this is 10 assets: Bitcoin, Chainlink, MicroStrategies, Arbitrum, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, SWI. Solana and Ondo, right? And it's looking at the hourly spotter for target lock, target hold, meaning is it bullish or bearish? And then I've got the 4 hour here on the right side, and we're basically a sea of red with a couple of zero negative target locks. That's what those gray blocks are on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, looking pretty weak. I would need to see these start to pop some green arrows in here on target holds and target locks on the hourly before I would start looking over here at the 4 hour to see what's starting to give us anything here. The only one that's really green on here right now in the 4 hour is MicroStrategy. So keep an eye on this closely. Am I missing something over here? I think I am. Nope, I'm not. It's all on. Okay, cool. What I'm watching here right now is this, that we did get a pump up on this, hit the slow moving quantum reactor, and now we're rejecting. Golden Pocket here is coming in 96,000 to 95,000, and then Platinum Pocket coming in 93,000 down to 91,000. Some levels of support to watch there. If you guys don't know about this setup, this suite, this is part of Chart Prime's TA Plus. You can also get it without TA Plus by using my link, but I curated this. These are dynamic fibs, and they automatically will read the last 250 candles for low to high and then put down your fibs. So don't even have to know how to draw fibs. It'll do it for you. And as of right now, we did get a rejection here off of this level heading back down. You can see Platinum Pocket played out perfectly on the bounce here for support. So looking at this, guys, with the 1 hour the way it is and what I'm seeing on the chart here, you can see we're continuing to the downside now on Bitcoin. Watch those levels of support again. Tariff scares are abundant in abundance today, but I do want to point something out. Someone asked us something in the chat there about I think it was Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith asked about the Crypto Czar conference today. That is taking place today. So if you guys are not aware of that, let me do this here. Yep, there we go. Today, David Sachs, the appointed crypto czar by Trump, is going to be having a meeting with lawmakers for the Crypto Czar conference today to establish regulation and policy. So we could see some information come out today that turns this right back around to the upside. There is some hopium later on in the hour. So, got that to look forward to. I think that if they even come out with some talking points about we have nothing established fully yet on the policy. We're not sure exactly what the roadmap looks like, but we know the foundational structure of what it should be, and we're working on that. These are the things that we plan to look at down the road. And if he says anything in that establishment of a Bitcoin treasury reserve, then strategic Bitcoin treasury, then we could see really big moves today. I just want to make everyone aware that that is happening today. Do not know the exact time. If anybody in here knows the exact time, oh, it looks like right here, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I found it. So 2:30 today. So 12:30 my time, 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast is when that conference will take place today. OC, your thoughts on that? What do you think is going to happen with that, man?
Oh man, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a shakeout in markets. We need to be prepared for that. I even think that you are spot on what we should be looking at. But we'll have to just wait and see. Something that I'm looking at for the micro markets, it is gold. Man, I think gold is doing amazing. Yeah. So
Gold
something
is
that I
crushing it,
usually
bro.
Yes, man. I mean, at first, after this Sunday dumping here, I was like, man, my like my dreams were crushed, right? But as soon as we plotted this trend line, which by the way was plotted right here after the points of contact, and held it right there. Look at that. Yes, we're having a flat oscillator instead of going it down, right? And look at your money flow, stay steady up in green. So, guys, gold is reflecting maybe the worries of across the globe, right? We will need to, or I will need to do a little bit more investigation where the inflow is coming from, but seems like it is strong and keep pushing. So not financial advice at all, but I'll be looking closely to gold and maybe platinum or something like that. This is PAXG. If we take a look at XAU, we can see it also replaying to that area right there with the trend line. So as you can see, PAXG, which is Binance Gold, right? We can see that it had a little bit more of violent movement before it keep pushing up, but we are right now once again on all-time highs. So gold, shout out to Goldman, it's playing out fantastically. Turn it back to you, my friend.
Awesome. Just just setting up our redirect here for Randy Hipper. I got a couple of announcements to make, guys. We are in February. We have a giveaway coming up this Friday for our Blowfin, or for all of our members, I should say, for YouTube members. So if you haven't joined, click the button down below, or for our upperclassmen, which you can join in our Discord, and it gives you access to the Piper Plan DCA strategy, profit taking strategy, all that good stuff over there. Plus a lot of subscription share, private content, VIP session content, stuff like that every week. So if you guys are interested and you want to get in on that, we're giving away another $100 in USDT this Friday. So all the members, get ready. Friday giveaway is coming. Also, a couple of changes to some shows. Some of it possibly, some of it confirmed. Confirmed, we will be moving the morning market report 30 minutes later. So it's going to start at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And that is going to align a little bit better with Alex O's show, so on and so forth. So that is starting to start next week on Monday. And then we may have some changes coming for Crypto Nightcap. Tradefly will know today what his new schedule is for his pilot job. So he had to go on orders for a few months. So he may be, 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the morning market report. Sorry about that, C90. The Crypto Nightcap show might have some changes coming real soon because Tradefly may not be on his same schedule that he's been on. So he may be joining us back here for the, it wouldn't really be a morning market report at 10 p.m. You guys are right. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the morning market report. Tradefly may be joining us back here on the morning market report, depending on his schedule. And OC may end up doing a solo show in the evening times for you guys. So OG time with OC time or something. I don't know what we're going to call it, but you guys may have some new content coming to the channel, little shuffle of shows. But yeah, we have to adjust because until crypto makes us all rich, a lot of us have jobs that we have to rearrange things around. And when you have this many content creators, it's hard to stay static with job requirements. So just wanted to give you guys all that info. I wanted to make you guys aware so that you guys were not shocked when you start to see these changes. Transparency, that's what we promise here at the Piper Academy. So OC, we got about 7 minutes. If there's anything else you want to show on charts, if not, we can go ahead and wrap it up. What do you want to do? You got anything?
Yeah, let's take a look at NVIDIA really quickly here. I've been looking at NVIDIA because of the new release of AI that happened. And I want to show you guys a couple of areas of entries. At this point, we have a sweep of the lows and a bullish divergence. This is a very nice pattern that I've been looking through, right? Sweep of the lows, bullish divergence. So which means, and let me just clear this up, which means that we could be looking for a breakout of this trend line. What will be the next thing? Taking this resistance, breakout, retest, off you go with the movement going to hit dynamic reactor. There's one downside in here, which is going to be rejecting out of the zero line. If we reject out of the zero line, this becomes a fake out. My next entry point will be somewhere around here. So if you're expecting to enter right there, I think either right now with no confirmation and a ton of risk, right now would be a good opportunity to enter. Again, not financial advice, with no confirmation and a ton of risk, right? A better entry will be right at the same zone, but right here on the retracement and setting your stop loss right here, right below this what is it 116 area, just to prevent us to coming farther back down here to maybe these areas. But so far, Nvidia is grabbing some momentum back. We only needed to break through that zero line, and I think it's gonna do some fantastic stuff back on the game. So other than that, turning it back to you, my friend.
Yeah, if you can also look up Palantir, we'll come back to you and knock out Palantir. Palantir had its earnings report and knocked it out of the park. So, some moves on that chart. So if you can pull that up, we'll look at that last. But right now, we had a request, $1.99 super chat coming in from Lewis B. Said, "How is Cass looking?" Cass is looking a little weak, man. It did get its pullback here to a key level that I had said, look, this is the line in the sand. That's why that line was on there this whole time. That is at 7.9 cents. And we got a bounce on the phase 3 golden pocket. They're also coming in. We have retaken the phase 4 golden pocket, but rejected perfectly off of the phase 5 golden pocket. This box I've had in here for a long time is your key support level. We are back in key support. But right now, guys, money flow still in the red. Volume looks like it's coming up. Does look like the oscillator ribbon is going to give us maybe a little wave here, but I would watch this level right here for resistance. Why is that? We have a point of control coming in off the fixed range volume profile all the way back here. Let's go back right there. That volume node right there is that dash red line running all the way across. If you take a look at what's in that area also, we have a quantum reactor. We have a dynamic reactor coming in. We've got a trend line coming down off of the Market Dynamics Pro. And this is our entry zone on pivots for the weekly pivots, guys. So overall, I would say keep an eye on the levels between 12.3 to 11.8 cents. And if we hit that area, that might be a good opportunity to short. Caspa still looking pretty weak in this zone, could not retake key support. So that's what I'm seeing on Caspa. Crypto coin mindset. Have a good one, bro. Keith, appreciate you, man. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. OC, what's that Palantir chart looking like right now?
Oh my god, man. This is looking either fantastic or scary. Look at the CME gap. Yes, man. This is the daily, guys. So I think doesn't look that, I mean, well, it looks that amazing and impressive. On the lower time frames, like the 4 hours, still looking like ginormous, right? So something important it is, guys, are you going to chase after the price? Remember that, do not buy the tops. Like, how do you know it's the top? It's not going to continue because we don't have structure yet. So what do we need to see here? We need to see a little bit of a structure, maybe a bull flagging here and breakout, you long the breakout or the retest, or we could be seeing maybe a big triangle here for a big pennant or a symmetrical triangle here, depending on the size of this triangle from the pole. That will be considered a symmetrical triangle or a bullish pennant. But so far, let's take a look at what else could we be doing, because as you have seen, there are no support or resistance. Well, resistances. Why? Because we are on price discovery. So shout out to Chart Prime because they have thought on everything, and to do so and grabbing those analysis for the future, we have predictive ranges. So basically, they predict where the price is going to be encasing to. And remember, we have a series of better or stronger resistance and support. Golden lines are the strongest one. And then you want to be ranging between one of those, or better yet, between one of the golden lines and another thing. So if we break above this golden line, I think we could be ranging somewhere around here and then define what's going to happen. But then if we reject out of from here, most likely we're going to be ranging here and maybe a retracement back to 87.73. I also recommend looking at the order block allocation, because at this point you can see that everybody is expecting a full retracement. Be careful, guys, because despite order blocks are one of the most powerful indicators, remember, order blocks are alive. What do I mean with that? They are live positions being placed, not taken yet, just money allocation, which means nobody's stopping anyone from here to close their position and then maybe reallocate it somewhere else without previous warning, right? But as this order blocks played out and reallocate, you'll see in real time how that allocation of money it's going to be placed. All right, so just be careful with these order blocks. Don't just look at them and forget about them, because they change of areas based on how people allocate their entries. So very nice movement here. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a structure and keep pushing forward. Turning it back to you, my friend.
Sweet. Appreciate it, man. That is great. Guys, we appreciate y'all joining us here today. I got to take my dog to the groomers. That is coming up here really shortly, so I'm going to be hopping off here. But we're about to go raid Randy Hipper's house. OC, tell these people what they get if they smash that like button.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. Quick reminder to click that like button because it gives you superpowers. This superpower that he's going to be giving you today, and please try it out and let me know if that worked, is that you're going to have 3 free refills on your coffee mug if you click that like button. And of course, you have previously made coffee. But if not, click that like button and see that magically appearing on your mug and let me know if that worked or not.
Sweet. Guys, we'll catch you guys all right back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate everyone that joins us here. If you guys would share this out with a friend, we're heading to 7K subscribers. We're almost there. So guys, help us get there. We appreciate all of you, and we will be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Don't forget to tune in. Trade Intuition on Trade Academy today, Crypto Nightcap, the markets after dark, and then tomorrow morning, kicking it all off again, BC Port Corporate. Good morning, crypto. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. You guys have a great one. Peace.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude.